European aviation industry claims bill of €800 billion to reach net zero emissions. European aviation faces more than €800 billion in extra costs to reach net zero emissions by 2050 to limit climate change, according to industry estimates that highlight the challenge facing the sector as it decarbonises. The industry has committed to hitting net zero carbon emissions through a mix of new technologies, notably alternative fuels, as well as carbon offsets and more efficient aircraft, engines, and air traffic management. Reaching net zero would need considerable additional efforts compared to business as usual, and would cost €820 billion over a 32-year period from 2018 to 2050, according to a report commissioned by airline industry bodies. By far the biggest expense would be €441 billion spent on cleaner fuels, which are not made from fossil fuels, but from feedstocks such as animal fat, cooking oil, or household waste, the report said. These sustainable aviation fuels can reduce the total emissions from a flight by about 70%, but are more expensive than jet fuel, and are only produced in extremely limited quantities. The report by research groups CIR Amsterdam Economics and the Royal Netherlands Aerospace Centre was commissioned by a group of aviation lobby groups including Airlines for Europe, A4E, and airport trade body ASI Europe. It said that aviation companies including airlines and airports would be unable to fund the climate transition alone, partly because the industry has struggled to be consistently profitable in the past. Since profits are historically low due to high levels of competition, and compounded by recent crises, the absorption capacity by the sector, in particular that of European airlines and hubs, is expected to be low, the report said. The industry has sought significant new support from European policymakers, including classifying newer and more efficient aircraft powered by conventional jet fuel as a green investment under EU rules for sustainable finance to help attract private capital. Environmental experts have said this would amount to a huge act of greenwashing, as it would effectively classify highly polluting planes as sustainable. The report illustrates that Europe will need a stable and predictable investment environment and a consistent policy framework to ensure that European aviation can access the necessary capital, said lobby group A4E. A separate analysis from S&P Global, a rating agency, this month found that planes currently have no cost-effective alternative to fossil fuels. It added that environmental regulations, including EU taxes on carbon emissions, could incentivize innovation, but added that investment in low-carbon and no-carbon power sources is costly and thus risky, especially given the long investment lead times.